Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to Xbox On. And you've probably noticed Lydia is still not with me, and that's because she broke her leg, and this is how it happened. But anyway, 2017 has been filled with so many awesome games, you've probably missed some. So here are the best games that you haven't played in 2017. Human Fall Flat is one big physics playground. You control an indestructible rubber man called Bob. Now, Bob can jump, climb, and use his grabby hands to latch onto anything in the world using your controller's triggers. That kind of behavior can get you in trouble in real life, but here it's totally fine. And these simple controls are used in all manner of creative puzzles. Locations include castles, mountains, and construction yards. Here you'll have to crack padlocks off latches with rocks, smash concrete barricades by hopping and crane cockpits and flinging its wrecking ball, launch yourself off swinging beams through windows, and brace yourself for surprise boulder avalanches. Surprise! You can even grab yourself. Bob can also don an array of colourful outfits and paint jobs to tackle these physics playgrounds in style. It's incredibly simple stuff, but watching this jelly man struggle is hilarious. Just remember to take care and grab responsibly. Next, we're off to the future. The year is 2088, the distance from Earth is very far indeed, and the gravity is all over the place. In Tacoma, you'll float through a space station and explore how the crew lived and worked. That crew has now disappeared. There are all kinds of questions to be answered. What happened to the crew? Why have I got a human skull in my hands? And why am I now playing basketball with that human skull? Maybe we'll never know. But how you uncover the mystery is one of Tacoma's masterstrokes. See, the station uses a surveillance system that captures holographic recordings of the crew. Check it out, you can walk right through someone's conversation. And you can watch someone sleep or take a shower. Don't worry, they don't mind, they're not real. But you can rewind, fast forward, and physically move through these interactive AR scenes to reconstruct pivotal moments. You're a space-bound investigator, like a zero-G Sherlock Holmes. The Tacoma developers worked on Gone Home and BioShock 2 DLC, Minerva's Den, so you'll find a layered world just like in those games. There are meaningful objects, notes, and digital communications to sift through, not to mention an incredible selection of virtual food. This looks like 2088's version of a pot noodle. Students of the future, rejoice. And sometimes, just sometimes, I don't need to shoot someone in the face to enjoy myself, I can just steal someone's toothbrush instead. But sometimes I do need to shoot someone in the face, from Tacoma's depiction of the future among the gleaming stars to one among gleaming buildings. Tokyo 42 casts you as an assassin, a tiny little assassin. You're assigned targets to take out through a variety of means. Here, my mission is to clear out all the local punks. I was never a fan of mohawks anyway. The setting is like a little model of a city. You rotate your camera around to peek at all its nooks and crannies. I know you're basically a cold-blooded maniac in this game, but it's so cute and stylish. It's why I imagine popping candy looks under a microscope, or if the game Hitman was remade by die-hard fans of Hello Kitty. You can run in like a madman, or you can disguise yourself as someone else and escape detection. This is great when the cops come in, like, for instance, if you've been going around killing everyone. Because otherwise, why would they come in the first place? But don't worry guys, there's not really any death in Tokyo 42. In this future setting, there's an invention called nanomed pills that regenerate damaged tissue. Civilians accidentally gunned down stand back up after a little while, so basically, these pills cure death. A world of style, neon, and immortality. The future might not be that bad after all. Time for something a little different. Late Shift is an FMV video game. FMV means full motion video. The term feels a little bit silly to me because no motion videos are just pictures, right? Anyway, in Late Shift, you decide the fate of a young man called Matt. He's forced into the robbery of an auction house and has to prove his innocence or face the consequences. It's a choose-your-own adventure where decisions matter and can lead to all kinds of outcomes. Now, I play like I would if it was real life. Selfishly. Like, here a guy asks me for directions and I decide not to help him because why would I? I've got a train to catch. They only come once every 60 seconds. And when a lady asks for help, I say no, you're on your own in this world. This is London, not a quaint English village. Don't talk to me. A lack of pause points makes the game more cinematic. You just have to go by instinct and think on your feet. Now, actually what happens in most of my real life situations is I just start sweating like a madman, but thankfully that's not an option here. The production values are high and the tension is even higher in late shift, and you can remain bone dry the entire time. As ever, my choices have resulted in me being labelled as a freak. Now, so far, there's been a lack of gore on this list, but that's about to change with Shadow Warrior 2. Have some blood in your face. This energetic shoot and loot is a red-soaked riot. Where you slice is where enemies break apart. Just look at that, they never die the same way twice. That's chaos theory. When the bigger baddies come out, you've got to get creative. And I'm going to use my secret weapon against this guy. Not one, but 2 katanas. Okay, that's not really working. How about the Warsaw? It's not just a city in Poland. I like to run around with my saw out and watch enemies split themselves apart on it. How stupid can they be? Of course, you've got your fair share of firearms too. You've got shotguns, machine guns, magnums. Lo Wang's arsenal is huge. Oh, and if you're wondering, that's the guy you play as, Lo Wang. Between missions you can chew in his pad, there's an arcade machine which you can interact with, or smash up depending on how you feel, punters to serve drinks to, fancy a Bloody Mary, a pole to dance around, and some drums to show off your musical talents. The crowd loves you. So, with its fast and furious pace and precision gore system, Shadow Warrior 2 is one of 2017's most violent delights. The best way of describing the sexy brutale is like Hitman in reverse, where Agent 47 watches repeating events to work out when to kill someone. In this game, you're trying to save people. You wake up in a casino where time is looping. Even worse, all the guests are getting killed in the course of one day. It's up to you to play the same day over and over again and try to save their lives. In motion, it plays out a bit like a stealth puzzle. You can't be seen by any guests, so you're forced to spy on everyone through peepholes. I love how watching someone adds their movements to the world map. By the end of the game, you can sit back and watch the day play out on the map screen as everyone scurries around like ants. Ants that try to hang each other or lock each other in horrible torture chambers. These are some bad ants. Now, it's hard to talk about this one without spoiling the story. You have to trust me that it's one of the best gaming tales of the year. You might not give this casino the best write-up on TripAdvisor, but it's well worth a visit. Next up, we have Enter the Gungeon, which might give you a little hint straight away of how the game is going to play out, because rather than just entering a normal dungeon, you're going into a game that has a lot of guns for you to use. This dungeon crawler stars a band of misfits searching for a legendary treasure, a gun that can kill the past. Battle your way to the bottom of the gungeon to claim it. On the way, you'll grab loot and buy powerful items from old merchants to give you an edge. Because let's face it, you'll need it. The Bullet King is an early boss, but he doesn't pull his punches. That is a ridiculous number of bullets, Bullet King. The procedurally generated labyrinth constantly raises the stakes. When it's not deadly traps destroying you, it's hordes of crazy enemies that will stop at nothing. Of course, the guns are the best bit. There are laser rifles, there are ice guns, there's even a watering can. And let's face it, Russian roulette would be much safer if you could use a watering can. I had to include this next one as it's one of Lydia's favourite games of the year. In What Remains of Edith Finch, you play as a woman returning to her family home to uncover the secrets of her very strange family. The Finch family is incredibly unlucky. Each of them died in a bizarre way, and as you explore each of the bedrooms in the house, you learn their stories and find out exactly how they passed away. What's cool about this one is the way each story plays out like a completely different game. In one of them, you magically transform into a range of animals as you try to find bigger things to eat. One second you're a cat, the next you're a shark or a horrible sea beast. In a later story, you step into a living comic book as you try to explore the spooky basement of the house. It may sound a bit gimmicky, but each story is really well told and tends to end with a nasty shock. The game recently won Best Narrative at the Game Awards, and if that's not enough to inspire you to dive in, I don't know what will. In this rhythm action game, you play a space beetle called Junebug Joe, and that's all you really need to know really, but wait, it gets better. You must brave a hellish void filled with contorting metal and moody music to confront an evil giant head. This plays out along a track, and as it winds and twists, you press the relevant inputs as you travel over certain features. Power slide when you see the orange walls, speed up over red shards, and press A to fire blasts when you pass across green strips. Mess up and you'll lose your silver armor, exposing the fleshy beetle body underneath. Listen to the score for an indication of when to press your buttons, as each input is in time with the music. You could probably play this with your eyes closed, but then you'd miss the glossy visuals. There's something both beautiful and terrifying about Thumper, like a nightmare you don't want to wake up from. Like sure, you could recreate the game by covering a beetle in spray paint and flinging it down a bowling alley, but playing Thumper is probably easier. It looks and sounds utterly unforgettable. That proves just how key execution is, and you can sort of make your own music. Now let me play you the sound of my people. Now, some people believe the future can be seen in a pack of tarot cards, but unless there's a tarot card with a picture of me eating Nando's on it, the system just doesn't work for me, and that's why I dig Hand of Fate 2. In this world, the cards you're dealt aren't vague promises of things to come, but literal events in your life. If you flip a card and it says goblins, you're ambushed by goblins and have to fight them off before they leg it with your gold. The combat is like Fable mixed with the Batman Arkham games. Attacks feel heavy and meaty and always end with a satisfying bit of slow motion. Everything is better in slow motion. Other cards might test your luck or ask you to make a tricky decision. Stumble onto an arm wrestling contest and have to roll a certain number with dice to win the test of strength. Each card can have a positive or negative impact on your health, wallet, or food supplies, so you need to tread carefully. What really boosts this game over the original is the complexity of each campaign. There are 22 stories to enjoy, each made up of unique cards and cards that you insert into the deck. So if you know the story revolves around gambling, for example, you can add lots of cards with gold rewards, and if the story is about enduring a harsh environment, you can fill the deck with events that give you access to supplies and health. There's really nothing else like Hand of Fate 2, and if you play it on Xbox One X, you get to see it all in glorious native 4K. Pick this one up and I predict that your future will be a happy one. So there we have it, loads of awesome games that you probably haven't played yet in 2017. Do make sure to let us know what your favorite is down in the comments below, and if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on another video, drop a thumbs up, and also make sure to share the video, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye!